Hey, what's up? This is Udolena from Udolena Digital. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, please be sure to subscribe. Every Sunday I will post a new video on some of my favorite topics. So I do a lot of book reviews, and today is a book review day. I'm talking about a book called Grit by the American psychologist Angela Duckworth. Who is Angela Duckworth? You might have checked her TED Talk where she talks about the concept of grit and what this book is really about. She's an American psychologist. She used to be in McKinsey, and then she decided to devote her life to studying psychology of success. She was also a teacher to 7th grade students in urban neighborhoods. And during her time as a teacher, she realized that a lot of her students who were less talented were achieving very high scores in maths on the tests for education, like SAT tests. And some of her most talented students, let's say the ones with the highest IQ, would often fail or not be able to pull through and actually end up having a successful career. She looked into a lot of paths of life while doing this study, including athletes, including people of business, marketers. She looked at successful entrepreneurs, and what she realized is that all these people had one thing in common. They were very gritty. What she calls grit is the ability to focus on a goal over a long period of time, even when you're not really achieving any success, maybe for years and years. A lot of the people that she studied were less talented in our conventional ways. Let's say the way we measure IQ, perception of others about what talent is. What she defines as talent is the ability to quickly improve and to quickly pick up. Let's say a talented basketball player is someone who is able to get better and better very, very quickly. And let's say some people have a natural tendency, a natural ability for something. Is it for music? Is it for sport, for arts, for learning languages? And when they put the effort, of course, they achieve better and better results than others. However, according to her study, that wasn't the case. The case was that a lot of these people who actually had mediocre talent, and by their own means, they said that they have some talent, but they are not the most talented in their sphere. Their hard work and perseverance over a long period of time was crucial for them becoming the top performance in their field. This included artists, this included businessmen, included sports people, presenters, musicians, variety of vocations. And she could always see that the grit that these people had and the ability to never give up was the key factor that actually brought them to where they were. Several important disclaimers to make here. The book does not claim that regardless of your circumstances, even people with terrible circumstances living in poverty, for some reason they are just not being gritty and that's why they don't succeed. Of course, you have to have some basic standard of living. Let's say if you are a child, must have enough food, must have glasses, must have textbooks, but then from then onwards, the competition to who becomes the best in their field is entirely up to the ability for people to persevere with this goal. Interestingly, grit can change over time. So children who started very gritty might become complacent as adults, and vice versa. Someone who has been not really sticking with ideas, starting something and giving up, can become very gritty at some point in their life when they really find their passion. And this is kind of the conversation about passion that we've been hearing, that you have to follow your passion and perceive your dreams. Yes, that is this thing. But what she finds out is that the more you do that thing, which you have a goal for, the more you persevere, the more passionate you become for it. So it's not about oh, I wake myself one day and then I realize that I'm passionate about this thing, and then from then on this is my passion and there is no question about it. The problem is that a lot of people think and have a false idea about what a passion means. They kind of think that it's always something innate in your genes, natural, that you just wake up and there is like this lightning moment and from then on you know your purpose and you're driven until the rest of your life. But the reality is quite different. It is more the opposite. You say there is something that you like, and then you work on it, and work on it, and work on it, and work on it. And the more gritty you are, the more you are persevering in the face of failure, in the face of difficulties, and not really seeing yourself as being the best. Over a long period of time, the chances are that you actually become truly passionate about this field, and you end up as being one of the top in this field. So this is kind of the argument that she's making. It is not so much about whether you find your passion or not, but how long you are able to stick with this specific high-level goal. For example, you start a YouTube channel. In the beginning, nobody is looking at your videos. Maybe you get a few views, but you're not really. You see that there are these people with thousands and thousands of subscribers and millions of fans, and you think like, oh, what am I doing? Like, I should just give up. And then you give up. Or you start painting and then you see someone who is amazing painter and you realize, I'll never be like them, so I should just give up. And this is where a lot of millennials find themselves often, when this pursuit of endless passion and believe that there is something unique that you should be doing and you have to discover it, you end up just switching from field to field to field before actually becoming a master. You can check also my review of the book Mastery by Robert Greene, which was also a really great read on this topic, on the fact that it takes a lot of time and perseverance in order for you to get to the master level. And by that time, you will develop your passion and you will actually very likely to be able to stick with it and to be able to execute it perfectly. Oh, you can say, but isn't it more important to be happy instead of being successful? Why following these ideas of success at any cost? Why ruining your life with grittiness and sticking up in the odds of failure, where you can just be happy? And here is a very important part. All the people, without exception, which Angela interviewed, were extremely happy and they were gritty. And actually she argues that one of the reasons they were so happy and glad with their life was because they were able to pull through and to get to a level where they felt accomplished. And from this accomplishment, they had tremendous satisfaction with their life, but not a satisfaction with where they stand. The difference she found in these people, the highest on the grit scale, were that they were not satisfied with them. They were not kind of beating themselves up, oh, I'm not good, I'm bad at this. They were like, I can be better. And this is kind of the main difference. It is this strive for growth and for improvement over time, not settling back, and being happy in the same time from the accomplishments that you have achieved. What about income? Does income actually reflect your probability to succeed in life? And here there is a lot of arguments. A lot of people would say yes, because the poor, they are not gritty enough and that's why they are not successful. But this is not what this book is about. Actually, regardless of income, she realized that grittiness was a factor that made a lot of people to succeed and others fail because of the lack of it. I think one important thing to make as a disclaimer here is, yeah, of course, your circumstances matter. If you were born in a very poor family, if you come to school and you're hungry, or you don't have glasses and you don't see what's written on the blackboard, of course, you're probably not going to be the best student and be able to be gritty enough. So some level of standard of living is important, and structural blocks are still very, very important in the life and the probability of someone becoming successful. But when, let's say, the minimum of requirements for your life is based, like let's say you have the base of requirements, you're not starving, you have time to study, you're not forced to work after school all your time, you have some bare minimum covered. The children who have a gritty character, are the ones who are actually going to succeed more in their education and follow through with difficult goals like not dropping out of school, going into university and continuing their development. Can you become more gritty over time? Yes, you can. And she argues that actually characters, nature and nurture and the environment, all of these factors influence how gritty you can be and whether you can become grittier. There are a lot of examples of people who over time actually change their patterns and they become more gritty. I can guarantee about myself, I wasn't gritty. In my high school years, I was just giving up so easily. I was interested in so many things and I would just give up immediately when I see a small difficulty. However, changes of characters can happen. You might meet people that inspire you. You might end up in a situation where you have to persevere no matter what. It is a matter of survival. And she realized that also it is something that can be educated. So one of the ways of encouraging grittiness in children and in adults is adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset means that your status and failure is not permanent. Also, with your success is not permanent. Everything is changing over time. And if you adopt a growth mindset, this means that you can change your circumstances by focusing on expanding and improving yourself. The only thing that is constant is your drive for improvement, whereas failure is temporary. Once you have this kind of mindset, and of course if children have this mindset that it is not that by nature they are born to fail, that they are able to succeed over time, they are always likely to put more effort and essentially see results of their work, which can feed into more grittiness and more perseverance over time. This is the core of this book. I really recommend it to check it out, read a little bit about the studies. She did very interesting studies with soldiers, with schools, and observe the patterns within yourself. You can also do a grit scale test on her website. I did mine. Mine is 3.7 out of 5, so which means that I'm more gritty than 50% of the Americans. Not bad. I will encourage you to take the test as well, and you can take it over time. Your result might change depending on how you feel and what circumstances you are right now. There might be moments where you are more gritty. It is a dynamic thing. It's not inborn. It can change. You can change it, but it is determining a lot about your character and what your level of success. So if your score of grittiness is very low, there is something to work on and to focus in order to have a more successful life, to feel more fulfilled and happy with yourself, and essentially achieve these long-term goals that are actually on your mind. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel and I'll be back with a new video next week.